Hello and welcome back. My name is Jack B. And as always, thank you for viewing my video. Drug abuse in America is increasing every year. The actions of the abusers not only affect themselves, but also their family, friends, and society. The human effect is depression, anxiety, suffering, and death. There's also a financial impact on the users, family, friends, and society. The only ones profiting from illicit drug use are the chemical suppliers, drug cartels, gangs, and their distribution and sales force. There is a wide variety of drugs abused in America today. Some are legal and more are illegal. The number one drug most used in America is alcohol, with 177 million users, followed by tobacco, nicotine addiction, with 50 million daily users. The most used illicit drug in America, according to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, is marijuana. Their 2024 National Survey on Drug Use and Health, NSDUH, indicates 64.2 million people aged 12 or older used marijuana in the past year. The next group of misused drugs in America are prescription drugs, which include, number one, pain relievers, opioids. In 2023, about 5.3 million people had substance use disorders. Number two, tranquilizers and sedatives. An estimated 2.3 million Americans misused these drugs within the past year. Number three, stimulants. Roughly 1.7 million Americans misused prescription stimulants in the past year. Illicit drugs abused in 2024 included number one, hallucinogens, which were abused by 10.4 million people. Number two, opioids, which were abused by approximately 7.8 million people. Number three, cocaine abused by people aged 12 and older, or approximately 4.3 million people in America. Tens of millions of people were abusing illicit drugs in the U.S. in 2024. From the end drug user to society, there is a financial aspect to illicit drugs. The U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, BEA, estimated that $153 billion was spent to purchase illegal drugs in 2017. A RAND analysis published in 2019 found $150 billion was spent to purchase illicit drugs in 2016. The drugs included in the reports were cocaine, heroin, marijuana, and methamphetamine. There is also a societal cost to illicit drug use. The National Institute on Drug Abuse states the use of illicit drugs, alcohol, and tobacco cost the U.S. over $740 billion in 2017. These costs include those related to crime, healthcare, and lost productivity. A March 2025 report from the White House detailed the cost of the illicit opioid epidemic in the U.S. It was primarily driven by fentanyl. The cost estimate for 2023 was $2.7 trillion. This estimate includes lost lives, lost quality of life, and other costs such as healthcare and crime. There are also financial aspects to illicit drugs on the provider side. I will use cocaine costs and profits as an example. At the source, the production costs are very low. The cost of 1 kilogram of cocaine paste in countries like Bolivia can be as little as $1,500. This includes all components, equipment, and labor. At the source, the wholesale price for 1 kilogram can sell for around $1,700, which makes a small but stable profit for the paste producers. Clear dollar values for profit during international travel through different trafficking terminals is hard to obtain, but according to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, the estimate is that international traffickers made $4.6 billion in 2008, which is 13% of the total retail value of the U.S. market. The Department of Justice and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime stated that once in the United States, the wholesale price for a kilogram can sell for anywhere from $13,000 to $70,000, depending on the purity and location. For the street price, the street distributors or dealers cut the cocaine with other substances, which can double or triple its weight to further increase profits. The retail price for a gram can range in price from $60 to $200. 1 kilogram of pure cocaine can turn a total retail profit of $66,000 or more. Drug cartels earn tens of billions of dollars annually from drug trafficking. Estimates for Mexican cartels' U.S. sales alone range from $19 billion to $29 billion per year. The global illicit drug market is estimated to be worth between $426 billion and $652 billion, which includes drugs not trafficked by cartels and drugs sold outside the U.S. Mexican cartels partner with different U.S. gangs for distribution and delivery of illicit drugs. The FBI reports that Mexican cartels leverage a web of criminal alliances with neighborhood crews in cities across the U.S. to expand their reach. Gangs in America include a wide range of organizations such as street, prison, and outlaw motorcycle gangs, with activities occurring in all 50 states. There are an estimated 1 million gang members in the U.S. belonging to over 33,000 gangs. Gang criminal activities include drug trafficking and distribution, robbery, human trafficking, prostitution, fraud, and money laundering. Typically, their activity is in unison with the cartels. The U.S. government spends billions of dollars on controlling drug trafficking and abuse. The Drug Enforcement Administration's, DEA, total budget for fiscal year FY 2025 is an anticipated $3.8 billion to support its operations. The President's budget for FY 2025 also includes $4.1 billion for the Bureau of Prisons for drug control activities, such as expanding treatment for opioid use disorder. The cumulative cost of the war on drugs over 52 years reached approximately $39 billion in 2022, demonstrating the long-term investment in this effort. The United States is taking a multi-pronged approach to combat drugs. They are focusing on both public health and public safety. Recent government priorities emphasize reducing overdose deaths, especially those involving fentanyl, while also expanding access to treatment and recovery services. U.S. law enforcement agencies are targeting international and domestic drug trafficking organizations and securing borders to stop the flow of illicit substances. Agencies such as Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, target the financial infrastructure of criminal networks, aiming to disrupt their operations by hitting their monetary lifeline. Law enforcement collaborates with foreign partners to disrupt drug smuggling pipelines and criminal organizations at their source. The Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, also imposes sanctions on foreign entities and individuals involved in the global illicit drug trade. U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, is running multi-agency operations like Operation Plaza Spike, targeting cartels that funnel fentanyl and other synthetic drugs from Mexico into the U.S. Ongoing operations utilize surges of personnel at ports of entry, airports, and mail facilities to seize illicit drugs and related materials. Federal agencies such as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, are funding programs to reduce drug use and its consequences. The government is expanding access to life-saving opioid overdose reversal medications, such as naloxone, with recent efforts focusing on distributing it through schools and communities. Public health campaigns are increasing awareness about the dangers of illicit drugs like fentanyl, with a focus on younger populations. The program Medications for Opioid Use Disorder, MOD, use medications such as methadone and buprenorphine to help people reduce or stop opioid use. In 2025, changes under the Trump administration consolidated and reduced funding for some treatment and prevention programs administered by agencies like SAMHSA. The Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, has initiatives like Operation Engage, a community-level approach that bridges public health and public safety. The Drug-Free Communities, DFC support program, managed by the CDC, funds community-based coalitions to reduce youth substance use. The CDC has also expanded funding to state and local health departments under the Overdose Data to Action program to implement prevention. Programs like drug courts offer treatment as an alternative to or in conjunction with incarceration for people struggling with substance use disorder. The court programs sometimes get confused with letting mentally impaired people with drug issues back on the streets to cause more harm to the public. Some police departments are adopting programs that divert individuals with addiction directly to treatment. This policy can also be abused by a lack of clear directions of use. To stay ahead of evolving drug threats, the U.S. is investing in data, research, and detection technologies. This includes efforts to monitor the flow of precursor chemicals used to manufacture synthetic drugs. It appears that there is an extensive effort underway to stop drugs and treat the users, but there also seems to be a continuing influx of illicit drugs into America. When there is an excess of cash unaccounted for in the system, there is usually hesitancy to stop the flow when many people need to support themselves. At this point, I'm not sure what the answer is. But we can't let those with problems hurt Americans at large. Well, these are my thoughts for today. And again, whether you agree or disagree, please verify the information presented. Thank you. And until next time, take care and be safe. Ooh.